Hi everyone, today I am going to be doing an overview of my sales for February. Luna is sneaking in here like I knew she would. You see her tail or anything in the background? That is why. Alright, so as I was saying, today we are going to do an overview of what sold in the month of February for me online for reselling clothing. Now, I did have a couple of goals, which I believe are the same goals that I had last month and I just didn't meet them. Spoiler alert, I did not meet them this month either. I am pretty bummed, but let's just get into it. So my first goal was to sell 2 items per day. So February was a shorter month, so I thought that it was more achievable, but maybe not. So there's 28 days in February, times that by 2, that was my goal. My actual sales was 39 items total throughout the month. And yeah, so it didn't meet that goal, but there's always this month to try again. Trying to be positive about it. My second goal is to hit $1,000 profit, so meaning like after site fees and any shipping and stuff like that. That doesn't mean cost of goods or any other costs that I have outside of like the platform. That is the amount that is coming into my bank account after making the sale. Hope that makes sense. So my goal was 1,000. I got close, but not quite there. I made $970. Oh, and 39 cents. That's kind of overall where we are at. I'm not going to go over every single item that I sold, the full 39 items, but I am going to break it down a little bit into 3 categories, similar to what I did last time, except for we have different amounts in each of the categories. One of the categories is going to be my worst sales, so my lowest dollar amount sales of the month. Now I did have quite a few that are the same price, but I'm not going to talk about them because they were bundled. So because they were bundled together, I'm going to consider it as not my lowest sale because I made more because I sold more items in that one purchase. Hope that makes sense. That's just how I'm going to justify kind of narrowing down the items that I'm sharing with you, because otherwise there would have been a ton, unfortunately, in my lowest sales. But that's one of the categories we'll be talking about. The second category we're going to talk about is my top sales. So I think I have 5 sales for that category. They are all sales over $50. And then I'm going to talk about my quickest sales, which I personally think is one of the most important things to kind of look at and know about in your reselling business, or what I found is more helpful for me anyway. Now, I don't have as many quick sales as I did last month, and what I'm considering a quick sale is 1 week. And I know that is like extremely quick, right? Normally, like a good time to sell is like 3 months. But just for the sake of narrowing things down, just for the sake of me like knowing what's flipping like super quick, 1 week. Let's start with my best dollar amount sales, and we'll kind of sandwich the negative in between 2 positives. Yeah, okay. So my top sale this past month, I think actually may have even beaten out my best sale last month, which was $200. Yes, I sold something for $200, which doesn't really happen often for me with these larger sales. So it's pretty cool that I had a high dollar sale last month, like over $100, and then another one this month. I don't usually have a ton of items in that price range, although I'm kind of trying to go more towards that. But this was actually a pair of boots. They were brand spanking new. I received them from someone, and so I did not have a cost of goods into these, which is even better for this high dollar sale. I'm extremely grateful for the person who gave these to me because, like I said, this is a very expensive item. These are the Marcella New York Zuri black boots, and to be honest, I think they sold for, I can't remember if that was my full price or an asking price, but they sold for that higher amount, I believe, because one, they are a very expensive item to begin with. Two, I couldn't really find any exact comps for this. Like, I found similar-ish from the brand, which also didn't have a lot of comps. So I think that the fact that this was something that didn't have a lot of competition made it sell well. That's what I'm thinking. So anyway, really amazing sale, $200. I ended up profiting $160 as my take home from that purchase because this did sell, yeah, on Poshmark. So there is the 20% fee. So $160 of that $200 sale, I would say that is pretty good. I'm very happy with that. So my second highest dollar amount sale was also over $100, believe it or not. It was a $120 sale. And this was for Peter Millar jacket. I actually really like selling Peter Millar, especially their more substantial pieces. I don't find them often though, so I'm hoping that I can find them a little more because I feel like they sell well, and I'm usually pretty happy with the sales. So this was a Peter Millar mustard bomber jacket, or like a varsity flight jacket. I don't know what you call these now, but yeah, it was new without tags. Like, the tag actually still had, but it was detached from the original piece. Like, the piece was still there, like the string, and it looked like someone just cut off the string, and I still had the tag. They had stuck it in the pocket, but sold for $120 on eBay. So hopefully, fingers crossed, I do not get a return, because I have been really bummed with these higher dollar sales and getting them returned. I had that happen last month twice, and so I was not happy about that. I talked about that in my last video of my recap, but so I'm fingers crossed that stays with the buyer. They love it, and I get to keep that $120 sale. Of that $120, again, it sold on eBay, I made $102.47. Again, really, really great sale. I'm very happy with that one as well. Now we're gonna get under the hundreds, the more normal higher dollar sales I feel like that I usually would have. My next one is going to be $75. This is another jacket. This is by Polo by Ralph Lauren. It is a very popular / sought after jacket from them. It is, I believe, a men's piece, and this one sold on Poshmark again for $75, so I made $60. The next one was the $65 sale, and this one was a pair of shoes, pair of Sperry men's shoes. They were like topsider, I'm trying to read the description, topsider gold cup shoe, and they were very nice, more like a dress shoe in my opinion, but it also could be worn casually actually. This sold on eBay again, so hopefully no returns, and I ended up getting $54.28 from this sale. Okay, so last of my best sales, my sales over $50, was a $55 sale, and this one sold on eBay. This was from Tahari. It was 100% cashmere, and I usually don't find a whole lot of cashmere, but I did find like a good amount within the past like little bit, and so this was a 2-ply cashmere. I'm assuming that means it's like softer. It definitely felt softer to me than some of the other cashmere pieces I found recently, and it was a brown color. I don't usually do a whole lot of packaging with my stuff. Like, I just don't like to put a whole bunch of plastic in there. I just don't think it's necessary, but since it was over $50, it was cashmere, I probably should have tried to find a plastic bag of some sort to reuse and wrap it up first in that. I did not. I'm going to try and be better about that. I just, if I have something, right? Like I'm usually just reuse some packaging materials if I'm going to use packaging materials. Because this was on eBay, it went out in a poly mailer and I literally just stuck it in the poly mailer, wrapped it up. I think it's okay. I think it should get there okay doing that, but sometimes I feel like for nicer items I should put a little more extra plastic protection for it. I don't know. I'm sure it was fine, but just looking back on it, I like nitpick myself. Anyway, sold it for $55 and I made $46.52. Worst sales. We've got quite a few, so I'm gonna try and like speed through these ones. They all sold for $5. They were all on an auction, eBay auction. That was the starting price or starting bid, and that's what they sold for. I was doing a markdown. I was trying to clear things out, and at least I made something versus having to just redonate that. I don't know if it's worth it, but for me, it did kind of get my eBay to have more sales. So hopefully that helped boost in the algorithm / get me to, you know, a better status. I don't know. That's my thought on it anyway. First one was a FootJoy men's polo. I am not going to be picking this up, I don't think, anymore, just because I don't think it really sells well. I doubt it was anything special from FootJoy, but sold for $5 and I made $3.52. Next $5 auction sale was from Joey. I can't even, Joey. And these were a pair of black flowy pants, very like satiny, I feel like, stretchy, very, very lightweight, kind of beachy, but again, they were black. Going forward, I probably won't be picking things up from this brand. So for $5, same profit, I got $3.52. The profit will change slightly just based on shipping. Next $5 auction sale on eBay was from Kate Hill, and this was a black, very simple black silk tank top. I am going to start being stricter with myself with silk items. Silk items are beautiful. They are very good quality, right? Which is why I've been picking them up. But I feel like the problem is I'm picking up these tank tops, right? And they're not gonna sell for much. And I guess in my mind, I was just thinking, oh, great material, I should pick it up. So going forward, I'm gonna be very strict with myself as far as picking up silk pieces. Like, it has to be somewhat of a substantial piece. I'm gonna try not to pick up these tank tops anymore. Again, sold for $5. This time my take home was $3.73 because I think it weighed like nothing. Next two, I'm gonna kind of put these together, just get this out quicker, were two Ralph Lauren men's tops. So one was a short sleeve, one was a long sleeve. They were just very simple button-up dress shirts. I picked up a good amount of these at one point, and some of them did sell for more than $5, but a lot of them sold for $5. I think I'm gonna be more picky. I was picking up everything and anything in Ralph Lauren. One of them, my take home from the $5 was $3.34, and the other one was $3.36. Like I said, I also had some bundles with those shirts that I'm not going to talk about. Again, they sold for $5. They were just bundled together. I also sold a Talbot's skirt. It was, in my opinion, very beautiful. I believe it was a smaller size 6. It was like a watercolor tulip print on it. Again, thought it was beautiful, sold for $5. I made $3.33. I'm going to be stricter with Talbot's as well. Going through this kind of just helps me realize what I need to change when I'm sourcing. So I find these videos really helpful for me to even look up the data and talk about it, because then it just helps me process the information better. Next was another silk piece, and this is actually a long sleeve button up, but it was still pretty basic. It was like a caramel brown kind of mocha-y color, and it was by like a brand I've never heard of. It might have been vintage. It was Telluride clothing company, something like that. Again, sold for the $5 auction, and I made $3.20. So that was my speed run of my $5 low sales. And now let's move into the quick sales. So to me, the most exciting, most important thing to know about. I only had a couple this month. I didn't have, like I said, as many as last month. Yeah, I only have 3. I only have 3 quick sales that sold within a week. So we're gonna do like a reverse. So the first one I'm gonna talk about sold in 7 days from when it was listed, and these were a pair of New Balance shoes, the 813, I guess. I don't know a whole lot about New Balance, but they were white and it looked like they were in pretty decent condition, so I picked them up. And I'm not very knowledgeable about shoes, but they ended up selling again within the 7 days. They sold for $42 and I made $33.60. And I think, if I'm remembering correctly, I feel like I sold a pair of New Balance last month. Hold on, let me look. And they sold within 7 days as well. I just looked. So last month I sold a pair of brand new New Balance shoes. They sold literally within 7 days. They sold for more because they were new, but that's something I should note. New Balance, I need to be a little more aware of. Maybe I need to do some more research in that brand in particular. But I believe they're both white, so maybe that's what I need to look for. I don't know. Okay, next item that sold quick, sold within 2 days, and this was a kind of a no-name brand, at least to me. Maybe it's a boutique brand, I'm not sure. It's a Visa, I don't know. Anyway, it was a reversible poncho kind of thing where you like just put it over you, kind of like a shawl, like a big shawl. I feel like it would have been like great for like work, just to throw something over to keep you warm over like your, you know, office attire or something. It had it had a printed side and a black side, so it was reversible. It had like a faux fur like trim on it. It was actually really nice. It was no tags. But because it was a boutique brand, I didn't have a whole lot of confidence in it, but it sold within 2 days, so hey, great. It sold for $25. That was an offer that I accepted, and I made $20 on that item. Last item we are going to talk about in this video is my 1-day sale, my quickest sale this past month in February. And this, again, my quick sales aren't exactly high dollar sales, but if they sell quick and I didn't have a whole lot into them, then that's great because I'm getting that money back quickly. So this was a pair of Torrid boots, like ankle boots, and they had a little slit, like V slit in them. They're actually very cute. They were size 11, and I'm gonna start looking at Torrid boots more because I feel like I've sold a pair of Torrid shoes before and they sold quick as well. I don't find it often, but I think I'm gonna try and be on the lookout for it. The Torrid boots sold for $20. That was an offer that I accepted. Again, it may be kind of low, but very, very quick flip, 1 day. So I made $16 on it, and I think these sold on Poshmark, yes. So there we go. There is my wrap up of February sales. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this, maybe learned a little something from it. I know I did. And I will see you next time. Have a wonderful and beautiful rest of your day. Take care, everyone. Bye.